This is Crypto Core Radio, discussing the ideas, people, and projects building the new digital economy. Get the latest on blockchain technology and cryptocurrency updates with your host, Lutz.
Welcome to Core Radio.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry. Good.
Hey, John. Well, welcome.
I just finished breakfast.
I'm sorry. I feel bad that you were eating. It sucks when people call when you eat.
No, it doesn't. I don't mind at all.
So
I eat too much as it is. So
awesome.
all right.
I'm beyond myself as to I'm talking to John Mcafee, dude. You're like a poster on my wall, dude. You have no idea. I idol you.
All right, sir. Well, let's get started.
So let's. So I wanted to get to know you a little more. Like, tell us about tell us about the wild cowboy, John Mcafee. Where did you grow up? And when did you unplug from the matrix that we live in today?
Oh God, I think I unplugged at the age of 6 or 7.
Oh wow!
Just after I found out there was no Santa Claus, and that my Hopalong Cassidy outfit with the guns didn't actually work. So, no, I've always been unplugged. I don't know why. I questioned everything from the time I could speak, and if you question enough, you end up being unplugged. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, I personally got unplugged when I was living on the street. I was living out of my car, and people like me, we try to maintain our good jobs, supposed good jobs, right? I was a network engineer for a Fortune 30 company called AmerisourceBergen at the time.
Yes.
And I was living in my car, and I'm trying to go to work every day, right? So I take a shower at the gym, and then I go to work. Nobody knew I was on the street, but I was. And then, at one point in time, you start questioning everything, like why they take so many taxes from me. I mean, I could barely live as it is. So,
well, this is what I used to do. For over 20 years, I would take anywhere from a week to a month off. I would go to Goodwill, get dressed up in ragged clothes and panhandle and just live on the street. Why? Because I have such a big ego that the only way to maintain any sort of humility was to do something like this. And as you maybe you haven't panhandled, you live in a car, but I've actually panhandled. So people walk by you. You ask them, can you spare a quarter, a dime, whatever?
Yeah.
You don't exist. Half the people don't even acknowledge that you're existing. Those that do will say something like, no. The ones that do help you are little old ladies who will say, now don't spend it all on booze. So you do that. You do that for a week, every year for 20 years. You're going to maintain your humility. I promise you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of the panhandlers here in New York City, it's we intentionally ignore them because unfortunately they try to scam you in different ways. You got to be careful. You got to be very careful who comes up to you and who you're dealing with.
Yeah, but how much can a panhandler scam you for? $1, $5? Who cares whether they're buying drugs with it or hookers or whatever.
Ever since I've crypto has put me in a better position in life. And you know what? I would have never found crypto if it wasn't for, the situation I was in, right? So it was my way of fighting back also. I was like, Bitcoin, government hates it, I'm in, right? So,
all right.
And then I was buying at 200-300 at the time, and everybody thought I was crazy. Like, what are you, out of your mind, spending your money on this fake money? And I was looked at, I was frowned upon, I was criticized, and unfortunately, all those people, unfortunately, they're still working, right? And I'm over here doing what I love to do.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and people don't understand the depth of how blockchains could help them out. I heard in one of your most recent conferences, you were it's telling about all the aspects of life that it could take over. Like history, right? We could, if we started using blockchain, we could pinpoint exactly on the timeline when my grandfather got his tooth pulled, right? If everything was
Absolutely.
on the blockchain,
and history would no longer be written by the conquerors; it would be an absolute record of the truth of history.
Yep. So you're running for a presidential candidate. I know you. I know your
Yeah,
goal is.
this is my second attempt. I ran in 2016,
I didn't even know
uh,
that. I was.
and narrowly got beaten by Governor Johnson. So
Well,
for the nomination for the Libertarian Party.
from what I understand, your goal is not to win, but to shake the
Well,
ground
no,
a
I
bit.
can't possibly win. Anybody who knows me would know I could not. However, it's a great platform from which to talk about the things that are important.
Right. Right. So, how do you feel you're going to shake the ground by running for president?
Well, because I don't have to play by the rules, do I? If I don't have to win, I can just be myself. Say what I want. Tell the truth. Walk off of debates when they get boring. When someone asks me a stupid question in a debate, I can call it a stupid question, and please give me another. So with that freedom, what can I not do? I mean, I can make an impact.
Yes, yes, and you know what? That's one of the reasons why I love you is because there's not too many people doing that. There's not that many cowboys left in this world, unfortunately. Everyone follows the mainstream. Nobody thinks for themselves anymore. Nobody has that childhood. Give me, that's mine, right? That's mine. Don't take my money away. That's mine. Like nobody has that's mine attitude. You know, don't take it away from me. So that's just my personal opinion. So you just started. Let's see here. I have some questions I had pre-made for you. What so? What do you consider the most important property of Bitcoin? The one which the of Bitcoin, the one which if we were not there, it wouldn't be Bitcoin. So what's the most favorable feature?
The main
of Bitcoin?
property of Bitcoin is it was the first one and therefore the most popular. In terms of technology, there are certainly more technologically current coins. In terms of privacy, there are many coins that do offer complete privacy, which Bitcoin does not. In terms of speed, there are many that are faster. But Bitcoin is kind of like that thing that will always be around and always grow. It's like the gold that you put in your bank vault but never look at.
Right, it's like too late.
So it will always increase in value, but the most important property is its universal acceptance.
Awesome, and the problem is that we're getting suffocated at the centralized exchanges, right? They're suffocating us there. That's where the bottleneck is.
That's going to go away as soon as decentralized exchanges and atomic swap becomes a reality. And then those central exchanges will have zero power and they will fade away into obscurity.
Are there any decentralized exchanges you favor at the moment? Maybe like Komodo of some sort?
They're all nightmares.
Are they?
I think they are. I mean, they want to know everything about you: your birth date, your social security number, your email at the very least. Try to get your money out. That's where the real scam comes. So no, there are no good ones.
Gotcha. How about Komodo? Have you heard of Komodo, the DEX?
I have, yes, indeed. But seriously, everybody starts off nice and sweet, and in the end, they get the power, and you're screwed anyway. Why? Because they are fearful of the SEC. Fearful of government regulations, fearful of crossing a line.
Right.
And every time they favor you over a government, they cross a line. So when the larger you get, the more fearful they become, and then they're all the same. With a decentralized exchange, there's no one to become fearful. There is no existing central anything that you can point to say, are you fearful? No, who knows? It's 10 million people cooperating.
Well, I urge you to check it out because it's definitely not centralized, and the creator is fully anonymous. So he's planning on leaving town as soon as it's up and running. So he's going to pull a Satoshi, I'm sure, at some point. I
will look into it deeper. I mean, some of my people are using it. I know that.
Asset chains, all these. I don't like tokens. I hate tokens. I hate anything they have their purpose for some things, but they depend on the platform that they're on, right? So like, Waves, NXT, whatever, right? If NXT dies, then your token dies with it. So you're kind of centralized in a way. No, you're dependent on this other team.
I think. Do you have children?
No, not yet.
Okay, you should find neighbors' children between the ages of 8 and 12. You will not believe how many of them have created their own ERC20 tokens and are actually using them. And people, it depends entirely on the charisma of the child.
Yeah.
But I think this is the greatest thing because everybody should have their own currency. What's wrong with that? You don't have to accept theirs.
Right.
But if somebody builds something and does something and creates a structure in which it's useful, then other people will start to use it. This is what it's all about. I don't care if there are 500 million currencies. Who cares?
Right.
Don't use the ones you don't want to use.
Exactly.
But if you look at grade school kids who are actually creating their own coins and using them, it will shock you.
Yeah, Kit Kat coin, rubber band coin. They can make a coin out of anything they want.
Yes.
It's fun for them, and you know what? It increases creativity, which is what the system has done. Is they removed our creativity. You go to work every day, 12 hours a day. Who has time for creativity? Do people even still watch cartoons? I do.
Of course.
So tell me about the MRU coin. Just briefly. I do know about it.
Well, it's basically my take on where we might be going. Governments and banks are trying to take cryptocurrency and back them with fiat. So I go, well, why don't we just take fiat and back it with crypto? I mean, that's how ridiculous that system is, right? So that's what I did. Exactly what I did. Only to avoid the SEC coming and arresting me forever, I called it a collector's item. And the MRU can, in fact, be redeemed for physical world resources. Like, if you have 100 units, you can exchange them and have 100 minutes of time with me alone to speak about what you want. Awesome. Now, who knows if that's valuable or not? Nevertheless, I promise you, some of my diehard fans are going to exchange them.
Oh man!
As they exchange them, the price of the value of the unit is going to go up and up. Obviously, because to exchange them, you have to go to Mexico City, wait till Friday afternoon between 1 and 3, exchange your MRUs for a date, time, and location where you can meet me. And I might be in Singapore or Japan or in Tierra del Fuego. And so I promise you some of my diehard fans are going to do that. When the news gets hold of it, what do you think the value of the MRU is going to go up? Because if you exchange it for something and it costs you $10,000, then that's the value, is it not?
Yep. Yes, it is.
But it gets deeper than that. The MRU is also backed by a cryptocurrency, which is the MRU token. You can exchange it at any time. Now, those tokens are not activated until you either turn your unit in or exchange it. If you turn in and say, I no longer want my collectible currencies, I want those tokens so that I can go and play with them on the open market. Well, then that's what happens. And you get one more chance to turn those tokens, only one, back into the currency if you want to say, no, I want the paper now because Mcafee's dead and the paper is not getting valuable.
Hey, it might go up in value.
I suspect it will.
It's like a famous artist, right? When they pass away, their work is always worth a lot more.
Oh, of course. It's always that way.
So how long do you think the government will resist until they fold and start supporting crypto and allowing the evolution of mankind?
When they hurt badly enough, when they can no longer collect taxes because everybody's using cryptocurrency to buy and sell and no one knows where the money is, and everybody's using privacy coins. When things start falling apart and unraveling with government services because they no longer have the cash to support them, then they will sit down at the table, but not before, sir.
Gotcha. And every once in a while we hear about some government that, today they support cryptocurrency, right? And then the next day they don't. But when they do put out that news that they're supporting cryptocurrency, I mean, is that a psychological trick for us to calm down because we're imposing on their regulations? We're finding ways around it.
Trick. It's a physical trick by usually the government putting out its own cryptocurrency, which is just another version of fiat, which they control and the way they monitor, and they still know what's going on. No, sir, don't buy into that. And governments will give us nothing to support us.
And the evidence I've seen of that is that the J.P. Morgan is actually hiring blockchain technologists.
Of course.
Oddly enough, right? So why would these big companies need people who know about blockchain? So they're obviously doing something underneath the curtains.
Right, but whatever they're doing is of no value because they think they're going to come out with a Bitcoin alternative that the world is going to use. We're not that stupid.
like
We're
Ripple.
going to continue to use what the community develops, not what the banks or the governments develop.
It's one of the reasons why I stay away from Ripple personally. It's because they literally said they'll bend over backwards for the government. I'm not in favor of anybody who says stuff like that.
I
That's
understand.
that's insane. How many? So we have different aspects of our lives that blockchain could take over. What other aspects do you think we could utilize it for? Where
Everything.
can it take
There's
over?
nothing in the world that blockchain will not fix. Anything from the supply chain problem to voting in politics to you name it. Name any aspect of life. I promise you that the blockchain is going to be used.
I
Because
think
what is it? It's an immutable ledger
right.
that tells us truth of what happened in the past. What more could you ask for?
Yep. It's better than writing it on cave walls because you can't change it.
Yes.
No one could go and delete it or erase it. It's immutable. It cannot change. Um, you know, I would love to see prescriptions and stuff that doctors do because doctors are kind of shady, some of them, and I would they dispense all these pills, right? I mean, I would love for them to put what they do on the blockchain. Just personally speaking, because I had took an experimental drug when I was younger, and it kind of affected me at some point, right? And I had to get a major surgery done because of it. And when I went back to the doctor who gave it to me, oh, after 10 years, we're allowed to throw away your records. Really?
Right?
What the hell is?
Yeah. No, it would solve that problem. Absolutely.
So the lawyer has nothing. I mean, there's nothing. There's no evidence that I even took it. It's nuts. And it's a lot of issues can be solved with the blockchain. A lot of people don't see it. We see it. Unfortunately, is it possible for the government or anyone else to shut down the internet backbone or ISPs to disrupt Bitcoin? And can we mitigate this by utilizing any other technologies?
Yeah, there's always technology. I mean, there's decentralized ways of doing the internet, but then the government can't shut down the internet backbone. It would shut themselves down.
Right. Yeah, and all their sites wouldn't work. Also, it's true. Sure. Well, that would be a major catastrophe even for them. Then, how about IPFS? Have you looked into IPFS? Do you like it?
I have not.
It's the interplanetary filing system. It's a protocol that could actually take over TCP/IP, from what I understand.
I have not looked into it, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a full check it out. It's like a fully distributed network, and it's an actual protocol that could replace TCP/IP. So at one point in time, we could actually put it, hard coded onto hubs and routers, right? And this could be the new internet, where
Well,
it's more like a
a,
spider
a
web.
protocol doesn't exactly change much. A protocol merely is a handshaking mechanism that allows someone to recognize who you're dealing with and so on. So I doubt very seriously if it's just a protocol that will have any impact at all.
Okay. Oh, well, we'll check it out. I have my own node running. I'm sharing movies, dude. It's a lot of fun, and it's you
Okay.
can't really get caught. So it's you give people your special hash. You put it in the URL, and as long as you're running a node, you could watch my movies. Which is cool.
All right. Wonderful.
You can't do it the old school ways, by sharing it on torrent networks anymore because the ISPs they come after you.
Right. But still, you're still running across the internet, are you not?
Across a VPN, but yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do
So
have
still nothing has
precautions.
changed.
Yeah, well, I definitely use precautions no matter what.
Of course.
It's like if you said something in your last interview about if you go to porn sites on your phone, you definitely have something on your phone. So you made me all paranoid
That's
that
right.
day.
Absolutely.
It's not me. It's my girlfriend that goes on the porn
I
sites.
understand.
You know,
Yeah, I'm sure it's not you.
it was-
By the way, I'm running kind of short on time. I have a meeting coming up. Let's
okay,
let's get a couple of additional questions
sure.
and then I've got to run.
Okay, brother. Thank you. So, will you have like a home version of the Sentinel available for me to use at some point? I would
have
love
no,
to use it.
see, I don't even know because I left MCT a year ago.
Oh, did you?
So I have no idea what they're doing.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. So I have some community questions real quick. I'll ask.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on the 51% attacks on DPOW, I guess delayed proof of work, like game credits and creds using it?
Use some other currency.
Use a different algorithm, right? That would be.
Yeah, just abandon those things that look scary or don't look like they won't work. Just don't use them. That's the beauty of a cryptocurrency world. You don't like Bitcoin, use Ethereum. You don't like Ethereum, use Monero. You don't like the Monero, use the Dash.
Gotcha.
We get to choose. So my thoughts are, I'm not trying to solve people's problems or fix this or fix that. If something looks shaky, abandon it, pick up something else.
Gotcha. And these are people from the Komodo community. I kind of grew up in that community. You know, we all grew up in some crypto community, right? When we started.
Yes.
So you know, I have a lot of friends there, and you know, they love you too, man. So it's pretty cool. They had a lot of questions, but I'm looking for the most important, the good ones. What is the most important issue that DEXs need to solve in the next few months to be adapted by more people?
User interfaces.
Yes.
To allow housewives and plumbers that have no concept of what this is to just easily log in and start using it.
Gotcha.
Because we expect people to know too much. We give them what? Little scan codes? Good God Almighty. That's what grocery stores use and we never look at.
It has to be simple, yes.
You know, or a string 100 characters long that's supposed to mean, no, get rid of that garbage.
Yeah, it's true. It's got to be easy. I mean, my grandma's got to be able to use it. If she can't figure it out, then you all hope is lost.
Then right, if your grandmother can't use it, then half of America can't use it.
Yeah. What advice do you have for children under the age of 21, and what can they do to assist in fighting the good fight and helping themselves?
Educate yourself. Get a wallet. Take your allowance and convert it into cryptocurrency. Start playing with it. Start using it. Start buying. Start selling. Start investing, and delve into it right up to your neck. And stay with it because this is the most powerful thing that you will ever learn.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you for your time today, John Mcafee.
Sir.
Thank you for coming on Crypto Core Media. I'll see you at Bitcoin World Conference. I'll be there. I live in New Jersey and New York.
Good. I look forward to seeing you there.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. Love you, buddy. And to everybody listening, thank you for joining us today. That was John Mcafee. He is a big idol. I love that guy. I mean, like I said, there's no more cowboys in the world. You know, there's no more people that go and get what they want. He's like a great example of how we need to change this world. He's realized it. I mean, he was a little crazy back in the day. I agree, but you know what? We all did our crazy things. I'm not gonna lie. I've done some crazy things too. You know, growing up in Queens and in Brooklyn, we've all done some crazy shit. So I mean, but eventually, you know, you learn from those things and you become a better person. And you know, I think he's a great example of you know, somebody who's trying to educate you guys and help you and your kids. If you haven't listened to his last conference, I will add a link to it in the description of the show. And thank you all.
This has been Crypto Core Radio. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Tell your friends so they can be among the first to learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency advancement in the new digital economy.